My new roommate paying 6 months rent upfront in cash was the first of many red flags. I was desperate for a new roommate after my last roommate bailed on me right before rent was due without notice. I posted the listing everywhere and got nothing but scammers and creeps until Mira responded. She showed up to tour the apartment in a clean cardigan with a folder full of references and a check already made out for 6 months worth of rent. I like to pay in advance, she said when I stared at the amount. It's easier for my taxes and it means you don't have to worry about me. She moved in with 2 suitcases and a mini fridge she kept in her room, and for the first few weeks I thought I had hit the roommate lottery. The first weird thing I noticed was the medical supplies in our shared fridge. There were saline bags and empty vials lined up neatly on the top shelf, and when I pointed at them, Mira barely looked up from her laptop. I have a chronic condition, she said casually. I do some treatments at home. Is that okay? I told her it was fine. Then came the visitors, always late at night, always going straight to her room. I ran into one of them in the hallway around midnight. It was a guy in scrubs who smiled politely. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you, he said before slipping out the front door. He looked relaxed but exhausted, like he had just finished a long massage. I decided not to ask Mira any questions, but then she started asking me questions instead. Hey, do you know your blood type? She asked one morning while I poured coffee. I told her I was O negative, and she nodded slowly, like I had just given her important information. A week later, she watched me eat a salad and said, "You should really take iron supplements. You look a little pale lately." I laughed and told her I was fine, but something about the way she studied my face made me feel nervous. The questions kept coming over the next few weeks. Did I have any chronic conditions? What about infectious diseases? How often did I exercise? Was I on any medications? I started eating breakfast in my room just to avoid her in the kitchen. One night I came home late and heard sounds from behind her door, something between a moan and a sigh, and I walked to my room as fast as I could without running. I almost convinced myself I was being paranoid until I found the contract sitting in our shared printer tray. The header read donor agreement in bold letters. The first paragraph mentioned regular collection sessions with compensation amounts and safety protocols. I flipped through pages about medical screening requirements and confidentiality clauses, and my hands started shaking so bad I could barely hold the paper. That night I sat in the living room with every light on and waited for Mira to come home. She walked in and froze when she saw me sitting there with the papers. She set down her bag very slowly and said, "I was planning to tell you this week, I swear." I asked her what the hell I was looking at. She sat down across from me and took a deep breath. "What do you think it is?" I told her I had no idea, and that was the problem. She held eye contact with me and sighed. "I drink blood, but only from people who agree to give it to me." The room tilted sideways as she kept talking in this tired, flat voice, like she had given this speech before. She told me everything was consensual and safe. The visitors were donors she had known for years. "I have been watching you for 3 months," she said. "I was just making sure you were healthy, stable, and trustworthy before I even considered bringing this up." She slid a folder across the table and said it had references from her donors. "If you want me gone, I'll be out by morning and you can keep the rent money, but if you want to know more, I'll answer any questions you have." I opened the folder, and the first page showed that the donor compensation was $3,000 per month for 2 sessions under an hour each. My whole rent was $1,100. I looked up at Mira. "I think I want to know more